Hello and welcome to What the Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Friday, February 12th, 2021. Welcome to day 24. First up, we have day 4 of Trump's second Senate impeachment trial. Today, Trump's legal team concluded its defense, accusing House impeachment managers of political vengeance and calling Trump's second impeachment trial a politically motivated witch hunt. Trump's team spent 2 hours and 32 minutes out of the 16 hours they were given to present their defense, calling Democrats' allegations that Trump incited the Capitol riot patently absurd and saying that his calls for supporters to fight on his behalf ordinary political rhetoric that fell short of the legal standard for incitement. Michael Vanderveen, one of Trump's attorneys, said no thinking person could seriously believe that the president's January 6th speech on the ellipse was in any way an incitement to violence or insurrection. Trump's defense then showed a selectively edited video of Democrats using the words fight or fighting in political speeches. Trump's other attorney, Bruce Castor, echoed complaints of cancel culture, saying, "Let's be clear, this trial is about far more than President Trump. It is about silence and banning the speech the majority does not agree with. It is about canceling 75 million Trump voters and criminalizing political viewpoints." Trump's third attorney, David Schoen, complained about the hatred, the vitriol, the political opportunism that has brought us here today. He also blamed Trump's impeachment on hatred, animosity, division, political gain, and said, "Let's face it, for House Democrats, President Trump is the best enemy to attack." The Senate recently wrapped up a 4-hour question and answer session and scheduled a vote on whether to convict or acquit Trump as early as this weekend. Moving on, the CDC released updated guidance to help schools safely bring their students back into classrooms during the pandemic. The agency now recommends a combination of in-person and remote learning, as well as proper use of masks, social distancing of 6 feet, strict cleaning and maintenance of classrooms, and rapid contact tracing. The guidance does not mandate that schools reopen, but it does call for says that it is critical for schools to open as safely and as quickly as possible for in-person learning. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky urged states to prioritize teachers for vaccinations, saying it would serve as an additional layer of protection, but said that schools need to keep up safety practices for the foreseeable future. Meanwhile, it turns out Trump was sicker when he had COVID-19 than was publicly acknowledged, and officials believed that he would need to be put on a ventilator at certain points. When he was hospitalized with the virus in October, Trump's blood oxygen levels dropped into the 80s. COVID-19 is considered severe when blood oxygen levels fall to the low 90s. Trump received the Regeneron antibody cocktail before he was taken to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, which was not widely available at the time. Once at the hospital, Trump received dexamethasone, a steroid recommended for COVID-19 patients with severe or critical forms of the disease who often need mechanical ventilation or supplemental oxygen. Trump also received a 5-day course of the antiviral drug remdesivir. Trump's physician, Dr. Sean Conley, repeatedly downplayed concerns at the time, saying he wanted to reflect the upbeat attitude that the team, the president, his course of illness has had, and that he didn't want to give any information that might steer the course of illness in another direction. Moving on, the 2020 census data needed for legislative redistricting won't be available until September 30th, 6 months after the March 31st deadline. The delay, first from the coronavirus pandemic and then by the Trump administration's interference, threatens to upend the 2022 elections as states face tighter redistricting deadlines for Congress as well as state and local offices. In D.C., the Biden administration plans to phase in a new asylum process on February 19th for tens of thousands of people seeking asylum at the U.S. southern border, many of whom have been forced to wait in Mexico under a Trump-era policy. The Department of Homeland Security plans to process about 300 people per day from among roughly 300 people per day from among an estimated 25,000 people with active cases in the now defunct Remain in Mexico program. And finally, Biden's deputy White House press secretary was suspended for 1 week without pay after verbally harassing and threatening a female reporter. T.J. Ducklow was put on leave after a Vanity Fair story reported that Ducklow had made derogatory and misogynistic comments to a Politico reporter including telling her, "I will destroy you," after learning that Politico was planning to publish an article about his relationship with a reporter at Axios.
That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Anditas.